The next element, one I like a lot too, is air. They all have their strengths, and some of the strengths of air would be like vision, creativity. There's a lightness to air as well, so there's a joy emotionally. We think of joy, and if it gets tense with that, it's sort of stress and excitement's part of that air quality too. Air is obviously the most flexible, the most movement, even more so than water. So very good with change, likes novelty, good with good ideas, doesn't like being controlled, not so good at checking things. You can think of this as the counterpoint to earth. Air can also have a kind of spiritual uplift quality. Well, spirituality is part of all of them. That air spirituality, if you see sort of monks of any tradition, they're often this very upright, sort of floating along, yeah? So the idea of unattachment is part of air. Another big part of air, because of this vision, this perspective taken on attachment, is humour. So it tends to be the one where people do it, they have a lot of fun when you see them, people that are really embodying air because of all that flexibility and the ability to change and move and shift direction, yeah? So if the question for earth is what is true, the question for fire is what needs to be done, the question for water is what needs to be accepted, the question for air is what is possible. Freedom, creativity, transcendence, inspire each other, be original, joke, have fun, and let the joy come out. Be unattached, moving away from things. What is possible? Be creative, be flexible. Have a big vision. Breathe in the upper chest, float. Let your hands move, let your hands constantly change shape. Okay, hands up if it was familiar. Yeah, okay, quite a lot. Hands up if it was a little more challenging. Yeah. You look like you were struggling a little bit there, Frankie, as well. Yeah. At times. Okay, anyone comments about what they liked or didn't like?
There is a familiarity between fire and air, which is they are, so I don't know, they move from a place where I completely surrender and I don't take care of my breathing, or I just go with whatever is happening, which is not something that occurs with earth or water.
Mm-hmm. So they're both lighter elements, yeah.
Lighter, faster, and yeah, more in the breathing for me anyway.
Great. So the breathing's different in each of them actually. You could just use the breathing to explore any one of these patterns.
I really enjoyed that, but I noticed the strain on my ankles. And I'm somebody who trips, and I came off my bike the other week, so I think this is very familiar to me, but this part of me is very weak. So, and the chaos when you just surrender, that's familiar to me as well, but I noticed where I needed to ground.
Mm-hmm. So it might be you need the counter react to this is the pairing of this would be earth, with the grounding, the ankles, those sort of things, yeah? In terms of practices to develop air, it could be visioning more at work, being flexible in your working methods. It could be joking more. It could be anything that involves that flexibility and creativity. Doing something every week that you've never done before, trying a new restaurant when you go out. Many ways to practice it. In the body, this extension, this breathing, these kind of floating movements, these different kinds of dance, well, that's more there. So again, lots of ways to practice. So in terms of kind of work applications, we might see earth as being the one about being solid, about checking the figures and the facts, having a plan in place. Fire's the thing that makes sure the job gets done, that drives through, that stays up late to push through on the project. Water's kind of listening to feedback, taking information from the market, listening to what the market needs, and also the relationships in the team. And air would be having an overall vision, some creativity, some flexibility when things change, as they will. So you can see that they're all vital in a work situation.